Hello, welcome to Try Animes. This is another weekly roundup of pre-orders from AmiAmi, pre-order releases from AmiAmi, going from let's see, the 27th of March up to the 1st of April. It's not much on the 1st of April, and there's not really much on the 27th of March, seeing as that's just an image update and there's some dolls, so I'm not going to really cover those. But as you can see me scrolling through, there's quite a few releases specifically on the 31st. There's quite a few releases and some Androids, so we'll quickly go over those. We shall start with Tularu, Darkness, Mei Kurosaki, Bear Leg version, quarter scale freeing. If you missed out, obviously, on the normal, the regular fish tights version of the bunnies, then you can get the Bear Leg version. You got both this, so you got Mei, and you have. Oh no, yes, it's just Mei. Sorry. There's two Tularu figures later on that come out. By freeing, 22,800 yen. November release, 2023. Not seen Tularu is one I probably should have watched. It's a long running series though, so it'd be interesting to watch that. But yeah, if you like this figure, then get it. With it being bare leg, you haven't got the tax, so it's a bit cheaper than a lot of other freeing figures that have been coming out that have over 30,000 yen now. So pretty good overall, quite a good discount, especially with there's another 5,000 yen off the regular retail price. So this being 20,000 yen is quite good. Hopefully we see more freeing figures like in that price range. But I reckon because of her being a more slender character, less materials used, is resulting in the price being a bit cheaper, since they have higher margins on it. And of course, Ami decides to be funny with its pictures. So quite a good looking figure overall. It's still just a box pretty simple one. But yeah, it's just the bare leg version of the same figure. So not too bad overall. Good price at least if you are after bunny figures, especially from freeing. We got a My Hero Academia Mirio Tokatu hero suit version, 1/8. It's probably quite a good fan favorite character. This guy is. From the My Hero Academia series, it's pretty simple with his catchphrase power on the base, which is quite good fitting for the figure, for the character. The shading's pretty simple overall, but I think it kind of makes sense. It means he matches the art style of the anime a lot more. 19,000 yen by Takatomi Company. It's not too bad overall. If you like this figure, there's not that many figures of the non-main cast or from this main class of that My Hero Academia is based on. So getting him, if you haven't got him and you're interested in the character, there probably won't be too many other figures being released of him. So you can, if you do like him, you might as well get him. A to Z 1/7 scale by Wing for 38,255 yen. This is a very expensive looking figure, but if you like the A to Z series by Wing, this is part of that same line of these girls, where with big weapons, or futuristic weapons, and they've got cyber sort of appendages and things on attached to them. So this is sort of one you'd either like or you'd not like, or if you plan to get the whole series, then I'd get it. But it is a very expensive. I think it's because you're paying for the huge weapon that she's just standing on. Don't know how she actually wields it. Maybe enhanced strength. But the basic is quite good, showing the devastating power, what the weapon can do. But yeah, I think you're paying for it as like a centerpiece especially if you're doing a specific shelf of like tech girls and their big weapons, and this suit quite well into your collection. But it is rather expensive, 38,000 yen. So not bad overall. Hokkai Gakuin Femoris Succubus. It's a succubus character, so that gives you a few things. So there are some people out there that like succubi. By Anigame for 16,980 yen. This is a very good price. but it is a rather simple figure of just a lying down succubus. Really, there's not a lot of detailing, not a lot of shadow shading. Obviously, there's pretty much no shading in the wings. The is a very skimpy outfit, obviously overall, but it's not cast off or anything like that. So you're lucky you haven't got cast off tax or anything. So it's just if you want to have like a get lolly figures or succubi figures, and there's another option for you. Prisma Wing Tokyo Revengers Manjaro Sano 1/7. The 27,620 yen. This is Tokyo Revengers. It's quite good. This is by Prime One Studios. This is actually going to be quite a good. I think overall, because Prime One Studio have been amazing. It seems like recently they've got so much detailing going on. So there's a lot of. I think you can't go wrong with this character or this figure, and the base obviously just shows off that street vibe of him being a street gang leader and his presence. So that's quite good. Prisma Wing. So this is a very good looking figure overall. There's nothing any negative I can say to it. I think it's better than than the other Manjaro one where you get a ring with the figure. You're paying like half the price of the figures. Yeah, and that's an extortionate value for just the ring. Not people are buying figures because they want figures, not other merchandise. If they want other merchandise, that's something that should be sold separately, really. Katie Cole Fate Grand Order Saber. So Saber in a wedding dress, and she's got a couple of faceplates. Which is quite good. Gives her some slightly different expressions, at least, especially if you've got multiple Saber figures. Then obviously you can, if they've got similar expressions of her more stoic face, then you can at least have the smiley face on there to liven up a bit more on the shelf in your collection. But it is quite a good looking figure overall. Just elegant figure overall. There's not much else to say. It's very unique design, having this sort of clear plastic drape over as filling in the dress, rather than just having the bare leg bit, or just having it like open and bare legs. So I think it gives it a bit more of an elegance to Saber, rather than any like super lewdness or an NSFW sort of mind thoughts going through people's mind. So this is quite good. I quite like the fact that this is not going down that route, and it's just showing that she's a very elegant character. League of Legends Keisai complete figure provisional, for 33,000 yen by Apex. It's a League of Legends figure. There's obviously a lot going on. It's probably is one of the in-game artworks. The details are quite good for a game character figure, especially something as big as Apex. Some of the other Apex ones, the more recent ones have been quite good actually. The first couple have been a bit of a letdown. There's not a lot of detailing on it. I think they've upped the game recently, especially when they're charging more money now these days. So I think manufacturers have realised they have to actually put more effort into the paint job to make it worthwhile. Not just having a box standard paint job and charging loads of money like Freeing does, but they sometimes do hit it out of the park as well. So manufacturers are definitely catching on to this. The plastic effects, the particle effects now actually look quite good compared to some other figures that have these effect parts. This actually looks quite good and not overbearing or anything. So this is actually quite good. If you're big into Apex and you like this figure or you like this character, then definitely worth getting it. Not up my alley, but I can see why people definitely want to get this figure. Destiny Child War Goddess Acrosia, 22,990 yen. I think this figure, you're buying it for certain appealing assets. You would be, and it's a very unique take with it being sort of this warden officer character, with obviously lots of handcuffs as I guess her ability. And you got the gold crosses now, so it's a very weird. I think that's what you're buying it for, is the overall aesthetic of the figure. It's something I think I'm very tempted to pre-order this one as well. When it's come out, April 2024. I'll be very tempted to pre-order this, to be honest. It's like, it's not cast off or anything, but like, you're buying it because it just looks really good. The hair might be a bit of a letdown with it being an opaque, like purple, rather than actually coloured and shaded in. But if because I haven't seen, I don't know what the game character looks like or what the character looks like from art. There's no art here, so I'll probably have to do a bit more research on that. But I think overall this character looks really good. I'm surprised it's not actually sold out or anything yet. But they might just be getting order fulfillment in at the moment. So that's a very good looking figure. It's just the hair's a bit off-putting overall. Apart from that, the rest of it looks amazing to me. Movie: The Quintessential Quintuplets, Nino Nakuni floral dress version, 1/7. This is the one of the Quintessential Quintuplets floral dress versions. Obviously, they're doing the entire range of them. I personally prefer the Date series. The Date series are cheaper as well, but I do see why people would probably could possibly want the floral dress versions of this. And this actually suits the purple. Actually suits Nino quite well. Actually, I think it shows her personality as well, compared to some of the other sisters and their coloured dresses, because they've all got unique coloured dresses. So this was actually very elegant. I think this could be standalone if you don't want to have the whole collection, but I think a lot of people will probably be trying to get all 5 in this. So this should be a Scramble coming out in November 2023. 29,000 is Eastream. Eastream could, the quality could be there, could be a bit hit and miss, but I think the paint job overall looks really good. But I think it's the price probably, as long as the paint job matches what we're seeing in the pictures, I think the price is probably worth it, to be honest. So it's quite a good looking figure overall. A certain magical index, Misaka, 10,032 1/7 scale, by Furyu. This one I think will plummet in price, to be honest. 22,000 yen. Furyu have a tendency to print or manufacture way too many of their figures, and this is quite a simple figure. There's some shading on the coat. It looks quite interesting, but it's not up my alley. Really, I think there are other figures in this price range that are better. You get more from the more dynamic poses, or they're on a better base, just to add to the character. So this one I think is a bit too. This is probably like a 15,000 yen figure. I think 16,000 yen maybe. Yeah, okay, prices are going up, but still, I think you could knock off 5,000 yen off that quite easily, just with it being such a simple figure. And it's not exactly one of the main. It's not the main Misaka, is it? It's one of the clones. So at least I think so. Both with the number being in there, so I assume it's one of the clones of Misaka. So yep. Shinobi Master Senran Kagura, New Link. Yozokura Sexy Nurse version, quarter scale, by Hobby Stock. These guys, Hobby Stock seems like they're doing quite a few quarter scales, which are going to be cheaper than freeing. So I think this is good to have another quarter scale manufacturer doing quarter scales, not just getting native figures, which are obviously more expensive. And this is, I'm pretty sure this is cast offable as well. Yes, it is cast. Oh no. So does it mention? No, it is not cast offable. Alternative chest part. So there is an alternative chest piece, which would achieve the same result. So yeah, this is quite a good looking figure. I think if you're interested in the Shinobi Master series characters and you want a quarter scale, there you go. I think they're planning to do several other ones. Hope Hobbystock will be one to keep an eye out for, as sort of like non-bunny suits figures that are quarter scale, especially if you like quarter scales. Like I quite enjoy quarter scales. I've got a few on order. Most of them are freeing, but there are some native Union ones that I do want to get as well, or native figures. Sometime, but they'll be pre-owned, so I'll have to pay a pre-penny for those. This is quite good. I like this figure. This is coming out September 2023. B-Style, Azure Lane, Black Cat of the Hallows Eve quarter scale, freeing. This is a bit more of a unique freeing figure. Obviously, it's the lying down, but it's sort of cat ears rather than bunny, which is interesting. And you got sort of it being more of a dress, nightwear style lingerie, rather than a beast done up with bunny suit, which is quite interesting. So it's definitely more unique. And it's an Azulane, so a lot of people like Azulanes figures. So this is I actually quite enjoy this figure. 39,000 yen though is probably it's a bit up there in terms of the freeing figures. But the red bottom of the heels is a good contrast and matches her hair, and offsets the black, obviously, lingerie and the dress quite well. Lying down's always a bit tricky with lying down figures, as you want to put some sort of mat or something underneath them so they don't scratch up the paintwork, and having the hair draped around it adds a bit more to it rather than just having a short-haired character in this similar attire. So it's quite good overall. I think it's a good looking figure. I think the price is probably close to maybe the 33,000. It's just the price is always the problem with Fraying. The price is always going to be a bit of a hit and miss. So it's whether whether this sort of suits your aesthetic, and if it's, you'd probably have to really love this character to and the overall figure to actually like it, to purchase it. Blue Archive Mekamu Nero Bunny Girl. Blue Archive, I think, is going to be a big hit. There's obviously got Asuna. There's 2 bunny versions of that. One by Spirit Tail already, I think. So this will be, if you're into Blue Archive, then you want to get all the bunny suit girls. And they look like Spirit Tail might be doing bunnies version, but because I think there's artwork for all of them in bunny suit, casino style art. So if you're getting the Asuna, which I am, then you might want to get this as well, just to add and fill up the shelf, especially since more should be coming up over the next few years. But I think Blue Archive is going to be another one of those sort of series where it just explodes like Azulane has, and then there's just loads of different figures coming out of them from all the girls in the range, or from the game. For 24,750 yen, it's not a bad price actually, considering you're getting a stool with it, and the base is a lot more details rather than just standing up. So I quite like it. Detailing on the jacket's quite good with having the patterning as well. So I think really for the money you can't mind. I'm just not a fan of the character overall, but yeah, good. Here's the 2 Tulavroo that I was on about earlier. Tulavroo Mei Kurosaki and Lala Satalin. So these are by Union Creative, and then 1/6 scales of them in sort of the darkness attire. As these are quite good looking figures. If you're big into the Tulavroo series and you like that sort of well, if you like the series a lot and you know what you're getting for when you want Tulavroo, this is quite good. Obviously these in their provocative poses, having them on your shelf, I think will obviously lead to a certain aesthetic. Or if you like the succubi sort of styling, succubus aesthetic, then this obviously goes to that, especially if you're doing a collection of succubi themed figures, or a shelf specifically of succubus themed figures. Both of these will be quite good catches, and the pricing is pretty good. One's 19,000, is a bit more dynamic, I think, with Mio. But yeah, Lala's quite good over, but I think Mio's one is definitely a bit better. I think I prefer the hair shading on the hair. And her pose is definitely a bit more attractive compared to Lala. So yeah, they're very good overall. That time I got Rikara's Slime Rimuru Tempest party dress version. So it's Rimuru in a party dress. So when obviously they're taking to make that the Rimuru's character looks very feminine, and they try Rimuru in a lot of different sort of dresses. So this is quite good, and obviously holding a Rimuru slime by Furyu, 32,000 yen. Bit much, unfortunately, when it's like there's a lot of molded on detailing on the dress, but it's not shaded, or it's not painted on a pattern. That's molded. Those are all molds. So unfortunately, it makes it a lot easier. It's lazy, really. I think for 32,000 yen they should be painted on, not molded. You can pretty much tell, yeah, that with how raised that is, that's going to be molded on. Yeah, that's molded. You can see here that these are molded on this upper part here as well. So, and that ruins it. The face isn't very good. The hair shading is not too bad, but yeah, I think the part it's just not worth the money, to be honest. With it being molded and that cheating, that just allows them to airbrush on the over the pattern and get an effect of the pattern being there. I don't really like that, unfortunately. Chainsaw Man Power and Mecha Man Nurse versions. They do sell these separately. This is the set bonus version by Mappa, 54,000 yen. I can understand why people would want these and the Nurse version, but I think they're too expensive because there's not a lot going on. There's not a lot of detailing. Their poses aren't exactly over extravagant or anything like that. Obviously, they're not detachable, not cast offable. I think, to be honest, after the release, I think these will be tanking in price. That's just too much for not a very amazing paint job, not stellar detailing. The faces are a little bit off, so it's an interesting. I like the overall design and the thought process, but I think the price just throws it out, unfortunately, for most people. So I think this will be one that will tank in the aftermarket, unfortunately. Nendroids, I'll go through a couple of these Nendroids. JoJo Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable. A Nendroid, the League of Legends Hajimuraka no Kiseki, 7,000 yen. Sorry, the JoJo's one is 5,170 yen. Nendroid Isolde Diana for 6,720 yen. Nendroid the Ice Guy and his cool female colleague Fukuyushida-san, 5,880 yen. Nendroid Cyberpunk Edgerunners Lucy, 6,300 yen. Nendroid Ghostwire Tokyo Akita Mizuki, 5,300 yen. So that's the quick roundup. I think the most interesting one is the Lucy figure, which I think a lot of people really want to get. I'm very tempted to get her as well, but I know there'll be proper figures coming out of scale figures at some point, since this is Lucy and Rachel are like, obviously Rachel seems a lot of people like Rachel more so than Lucy. I prefer Lucy over Rachel, but that's just me. From Cyberpunk Edgerunners, so people might get this, just bite the bullet and buy it now, just before the scales come out anyway, and just to have it on the shelf in front of the scales maybe. That's probably what I'd end up doing if I want to get that. I'm not a big fan of Nendroids overall. Normally has to be a character that I really like Lucy's one that I really like, and I definitely would want to collect a good, more than just one figure of them. So I think this might be one I'd pounce on getting. Kashoku Odorikyu Ateru illustration by Yatsumi Suzanami, 1/6. This is a tanned girl, Egyptian style, in not much at all, really. This is, I think a lot of people like it. It's got two face plates, so you've got the mouth open and then the more serious face tone one. This one is a bit hit and miss. I think some people like it. I quite like it, but I think some people don't think that the skin tone's correct. Other people don't like the face. I think the face probably is the more thing. You either like the face or don't like the face. I think the tan's quite good overall, and the overall figure's quite good. And I do like it, but it's 19,000 yen. It's not exactly like gonna break the bank overall. It's 1/6 scale, so it is a relatively simple figure though, because you just mold her, and you just mold. In terms of manufacturing, it's pretty simple really, and then you have the little covers for the two lumps, which I think those can come off. Yep, cast off. So you can cast off those bits. So if you're into your lewd figures, this might be one worth picking up. I potentially would pick it up, but there are other figures I could put that money towards. I'll probably just wait to see what the aftermarket price is like, really, and see whether it goes up or down. I don't think it'd go too much more higher than that, really, because there does seem to be quite a bit of outrage with the face. Chainsaw Man Makima 1/7 by Fat Company. This for 23,900 yen. This is actually quite good, actually, for compared to a lot of the other Makima figures. This one, you're getting quite a lot more with the base. It adds a lot more personality to it. The paint scheme is bland. Obviously, there's no shade. There's not pretty much no shading. That's down to your light source. So you're paying it for the base, basically, whether you like the base and you think it adds enough to the character to Makima being there. And I think they did her face correctly as well. I think the face actually looks almost exactly like her face from the anime. So this is a quite a good looking figure. So yeah, I can see why people definitely get it. I'm not big into the Chainsaw Man figures releases. I think too many being pumped up too quickly, I think, overall. Next up, Evangelion Asuka Langley Shikamaru Whisper Flower version 1/7 by Mythos, and Ray as well, by Mythos, 25,800 yen for both of them each. I think if you're big into Evangelion and you like the more sort of elegant ones, and you don't really want them in there to be in their suits or the streetwear lineup, then these is quite a good way to get into these figures. And by Mythos being spot on with their paint jobs and stuff with their current releases, so I think the paint job will be spot on. Prices actually pretty good. I think it's just if you like the character and you want to get them, if you haven't already got them. Evangelion, they've got quite a few figures out already. And there's just more coming out obviously in the future. But I think these, just the different aesthetic, is a good take on these characters. I think overall, so I like both these characters, both these releases. Movie Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel, Sakura Mato Makura Grail version. You're buying this figure just if you're big into Fate, really. It's by Alta, so quality is going to be there, paint job's going to be there. The figure looks brilliant overall. I think it matches the scene that it's taken from the movie. The effect parts as well, the swirling around the base is very well done, tastefully done. It's not overbearing or anything, it doesn't take away from her at all. So I actually really like that. And the whole like blue and purple and blacks and reds shading, that's really good. 32,000 yen is a bit pricey, but I think you will love this figure if you love the character. Data Live 4th Mukuru Hoshimiya, and there is also Data Live 4th Nia Hanjo. So I think these are the two new girls from the Data Live Season 4. You're buying this one for reasons, obvious reasons. The fact that it's almost completely stark unclothed. So I think it's pretty unique spin, and I wouldn't expect something like this from Belfine. I do like the concept, and I do like the figure. I'm not big into the Data Life series overall. I do need to watch Season 4, but I think people can appreciate this and can appreciate the Nia as well. In terms of Nia, her outfit is very... I actually quite like with it being sort of semi-transparent, showing her underwear underneath, and wearing these sort of near 3/4 length boots and whatnot. The whole sort of nun priestess aesthetic really gets me going. So I really do like this take, having this sort of effects of the headpiece, I guess, is part of the transformation. So is where I guess it's sort of formed from water or something like that, which is why it's got the translucent effect or translucency through it. So I actually really like this figure as well overall. 25,190 yen. Same for both of them. So pretty good figures overall. I think I definitely would prefer getting Nia instead, just because I do like the whole nun aesthetic. Vertex, it's the re-release of their Elf 8th Villager Cecil. So there's another release. I think they've released her 2 more times before. It's probably the third release of her. The Elf Village is always a series worth possibly getting if you're into their more not safe for work or cast off figures, since there's a whole series of them, and they have added to the village lineup over the years with more characters. So this is quite good. I don't know if the quality is just improved over time. I'd have to probably see if there's probably look at pictures or videos from the differences and see if they've actually refined the paint job over time. I don't know. That would probably be an interesting experiment to try and find, actually, from my first release of one of the Village Elf girls, and then they get the same Village Elf girl like 3, 4, 5 years later that's been re-released, and then compare them. But you'd probably want both of them new sealed, never been opened, just to make sure you haven't got any differences from like light bleaching the paintwork and whatnot. So that'll be something worth possibly doing at some point as a video concept. But yeah, Vertex Originals do like the Vertex what Vertex do. So this is quite good if you're planning to get the Vertex series. You can add another one to your shelf. And Hatsune Miku GT Project Racing Miku 2021 private version. I think when people saw this is one of the people's favorites Miku figures. With it being her just enjoying herself rather than being tied to a specific concept or being like a race queen thing. It's something that it will be just, it's the character out on holiday in a very like pretty dress, having a good time with a luggage. So it's very sort of more casual rather than serious. So I think this and especially as going into the summer, this will be a good figure I think for people to get hold of. Come out February next year, but still. By Max Factory, no complaints here. I think there's nothing wrong with the figure. I think it's perfect. The pricing might be a little bit high for some people, but it's the Miku tax, I'd just say that would be. I think that rounds it up for this video. Going from the 27th of March to the 1st of April releases from AmiAmi. Thank you very much, and please provide feedback if you think there's anything I can improve, or if you prefer me to do shorter videos maybe, then please let me know. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. See you next time.